Where is Gonzalo Lira? He's gone. He's disappeared. Now, this man originally stated that if you don't hear from him in 12 hours, he's probably dead.
So I want you guys to know that if ever you don't hear from me for 12 hours during this conflict, if it's 12 hours or more, assume that I've been picked up by the SBU and assume that the people most responsible are the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast who deliberately lied about me, claiming that I'm not in Kharkov, admitted to the fact that people are looking for me and want to get a hold of me in the very hit piece that they wrote, and that they contacted the Ukrainian government to make them aware that I'm in Kharkov, make them aware of my significance, make them aware so they can send some SBU goons to get me. Understand what the Daily Beast has done. And when I said, in the title of this, that the Daily Beast wants to kill me, I'm not being hyperbolic.
Is what he did. Now, for those of you that don't know who Gonzalo is, at one time he used to run a YouTube channel that gave like dating advice to young men called Coach Red Pill. And I remember him back in the day. I did watch a few of his videos. He was pretty edgy, and he had different cameras running in different angles and to make it more interesting, I suppose. But he is an American, and he is worth about $60 million, apparently, is what the internet says. And he was born in Burbank, California. Very intelligent guy. I mean, this guy can literally pick a subject and talk on it for hours and hours. It was unbelievable what that gift he has. I don't know too many people that can do that. I really don't. But all of a sudden, he changed from giving advice on dating to being a news person, a correspondent. And I see that happening a lot anymore. It seems like people that have no credentials or show no credentials can become a news agent by just picking up a camera. And I find that interesting too. Yet that's supposed to be some super high-end job with heavy education of English and learning how to speak. And it seems with YouTube and other things that comes along, we're all talking now. That's kind of interesting. Now, something to pay attention to here, if you're one of the preppers that watch my channel, is that this is quite interesting what has happened to Gonzalo Lira here. He's been attacked by trolls. That's the bottom line. And it's gone to a whole new level. You see, he moved to Ukraine and he got married and had a couple kids. And if you look at his videos when he was Coach Red Pill, and there is a YouTube channel with his old videos on them, I'll link it in the bottom. And if you look in the background, you'll see all these colored crayon drawings. Those were from his kids. Is what they were. So he was in Ukraine at that time. Now, one thing's for sure about Ukraine, a lot of people have asked, why doesn't he leave Ukraine? Well, wait, let me back up. You see, he lived in Ukraine, but he was supporting Russia. So he was posting propaganda stuff. He was posting anything he could find. He would go out and take video. He would show the soldiers. He's in a dangerous position. I mean, to be sitting in Ukraine and then making video after video about hating on Ukraine and liking Putin and Russia, I mean, you're literally putting yourself in the mix there, aren't you? Some people would even say that's suicidal. I mean, it's not like Ukraine is America. And I know in America, a lot of people just spout up and say what they want because we have freedom of speech and we can do yada, yada, yada. But there's an extent where we don't even have that anymore. That's going away. But there is a law in Ukraine that says Ukraine law, men are forbidden from legally leaving Ukraine, both local and foreigners. He can't leave Ukraine. He's stuck there. So here he is. The war begins, which I'm sure he didn't plan for. And then all of a sudden, he can't get out of the country. He can't go to Russia. I mean, he would have to apply for a tourist visa or something like that. And as soon as Russia seen Ukraine on it applying, no, no, that would be it. It takes time to get a Russian tourist visa to get into Russia. So he would have to go the other way, but they're not letting anybody out. Now you got to ask yourself, if you're caught in the middle of this and you're married and you have a couple kids, what would be the first thing you'd do? And he obviously has a good amount of money. Well, I would send my wife and kids out, to Poland, whatever. They got the money to take care of things, no problem. Out they go. Now I'm alone. But he made the mistake, and it is a mistake. I mean, I don't know why. He just kept shooting his mouth off over and over. It's like he liked the fame. I don't know. He should have shut his mouth. But he didn't. There was a newspaper called, and it's online, called the Daily Beast, and they went after him. They trolled him. Oh, they trolled him hard. And there's even some tranny reporter that was after him too. And literally, they were saying we contacted the Ukraine higher ups, and the SBU, they call it, Zelensky's regime, which is called the Security Service of Ukraine. And they would say they asked them for a comment on this or something. Well, that's like putting a heads up saying, hey, what do you think about what this guy's saying? And we have an idea where he is. Well, it's known all across YouTube and the internet that anybody that says anything about Russia and you're in Ukraine, they're just killing you. They're not taking prisoners. They're not doing anything. Ukraine is known for the Nazi regime, and that's it. And slowly people are figuring that out. And there's a lot of hatred between Russia and Ukraine on those both sides. You see, in order to kill a human being, you have to dehumanize them. You have to hate them. There has to be something wrong with them. You have to make stuff up. They've done it for years. For every generation, for every war, you have to dehumanize them. You can't look at them as wanting a wife and a kid and working a job, or you're going to have a hard time killing them. You have to dehumanize them on every level. And I don't know what Gonzalo was thinking. I really don't. It's really, really, really bad. Now, there are some things to look upon here. Volodymyr Strok, I think I'm saying that right, S-T-O-K, the mayor of Ukraine's city of the Kremlin, was assassinated by an SBU death squad for urging negotiations with Russia. Okay. So a mayor of a Ukraine city was assassinated by the so-called security services of Ukraine, and they own themselves a death squad. So they literally say, assassinate this person. They go out, they find him. Do you think maybe Gonzalo was assassinated? I do. And I say rest in peace. And if he does come up out of the blue, it'll be a miracle. It really will. If he found some hole to climb into, I will be surprised. Now, I was sitting in a room with a couple of friends of mine, and we were talking about it. And one guy came up with I don't know, this is an opinion. We don't know this, okay? This is just from watching Gonzalez for a long time. Now, he says here Lira had a wife and kids, 2 young kids. A few years ago, he talked often about his wife and his kids in a fancy studio with all his cameras. He had crayon pictures on the wall. If you actually go look at Coach Red Pill's old videos, you will see those crayon pictures on the wall, and there is a YouTube channel with that. It's like an archive Red Pill of him. I'll link it in the bottom if you want to go check out some of those videos. Now, over the past year or so, he stopped talking about his wife and rarely referred to his kids. So, over the last year or so, he stopped talking about the wife. He did fewer videos until the Russian thing started up. Then it blew up. He was living alone in Ukraine, and I guess his wife split, took the kids, and there is no joint custody crap in Ukraine or divorce laws like the US. He never got to see his kids. I think he was suffering from depression. Well hidden, but it was there. Now, this is hypothetical. This is just us chatting. Then the war started, and he started back up, gave him something to talk about and get attention. New lease on life, basically. Everyone wanted to interview Larry. Now, since the war is winding down, he was getting chased by the SBU. Russians were whining he would go back to being not so important. I think he was daring the SBU to come after him. I think he wanted to die. Go out on top sort of thing. If nothing else, to live forever. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Now we were just talking in a room, and he actually watched Gonzalo Lira a lot too. What do you think? I mean, do you think that his wife left him? Do you think he was at the point of depression? Because it didn't make sense. It was actually suicidal. Like, why are you in Ukraine talking about Russia, and yet you know about these SBU security service and death squads? I mean, you'd think you would just shut your mouth and lay low until you could get out of there. I mean, this guy's not stupid. I mean, Gonzalo, he's not stupid at all. He's a pretty smart cookie. But the Daily Beast actually doxed him. There was some tranny reporter. I was reading a little bit about that. That person wants him dead. And it don't take much to call the SBU. And I guess, they word it. Trolls word things, right? Would you like to make a statement on this? Basically bringing attention to him. And he even mentions it in his videos. And he was pretty sure he was going down. And now everybody's asking, where is he? And I hope he turns up. But from all the stuff I spent a good 4 or 5 hours digging up information that I could find on Gonzalez, and it doesn't look good. And if you go read his Twitter account, he was quite active into really posting news that was true. And I think it cost him his life. But if he does turn up, I'm very happy for him. But if he doesn't, rest in peace. Catch you guys on the next one.